Linear equations, part 1. We're going to learn 4 different things in this part. First, to identify positive and negative slopes on a graph. Second, learn how to find the slope of a line that passes through 2 points, or in other words, to find the slope given 2 points. Third, learn to write an equation in point-slope form using various information. Sometimes that may be an equation or not an equation, a slope and a point or 2 points. Or to learn to identify the slope and y-intercept by looking at an equation. Sorry, that got cut off because it was too much. Okay, so first of all, linear equations, talking about the slope. That's probably the most important element of a linear equation, is what its slope is. So first of all, positive slope is when the line rises from left to right. And you can see an example of that right there. That red line has a positive slope. It is rising as you move left to right. A negative slope, the line falls from left to right. Just remember, you read it the same direction you read anything, left to right. And again, you've got an example right over here. The red line is falling, so it's a negative slope. It's very important these next two you keep straight. No slope or undefined slope is a vertical line, so it would look something like this. And zero slope is a horizontal line. It could look something like this. So no slope or undefined slope is a vertical line. Zero slope or no slope is a horizontal, just zero slope is a horizontal line. This is the slope equation. Hopefully you're familiar with it. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now hopefully this is review for you, but just in case it's not, the easiest thing to do is to label your points. This would be x1 and y1 and x2 and y2. So then I do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 4 minus a negative 1 is 5. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. So the slope is negative 1. So that's how to find the slope of a line given 2 points on that line, or find the slope between 2 points. Second, we're going to try to write the equation of a line passing through the point 1, 3 with a slope of 4. Now there's two common equations that are used when you're trying to write the equation of a line. The first is the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. It's important to remember this m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. And there's also the point-slope form. Personally, I think it's easier to start with the point-slope form and then work your way forward. Some people like to start with the slope-intercept form. I will show you both ways, and from here on out you can certainly choose your preference. So with the slope-intercept form, we have y equals mx plus b. So we plug in our y value, which is the 3. So we get 3 equals, m is our slope, that's 4. Our x value is 1 plus b. So we get 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract 4 from both sides, we get negative 1 equals b. So now we go back and rewrite the equation. We plug in the slope, which is 4, and the b, which is negative 1. So we get y equals 4x minus 1. So that's one way to approach the problem. The second way would be to use the point-slope form. In this case, we take the y and plug it into y1, and the x and plug it into x1. So we leave the y and the x just like they are. They stay y and x, which if you look, we need a y and x in our final answers anyway. So we get y minus our y value, which is 3, equals m, that's our slope, that's 4, x minus our x value, which is 1. The benefit of this is once you plug it in, there's always just two steps. First, distribute. So I distribute the 4, 4x minus 4, and then you add or subtract to get the y by itself. Again, it is up to you. Both ways work. Both ways are correct. I prefer the way on the right, so that's the way you will be seeing me do it. But if you prefer to use the slope-intercept form to start with, that is certainly okay. Now write the equation of a line that passes through 4, negative 3, and negative 2, 6. You always need a slope and a point in order to find the equation of a line. Now in our previous example, they gave us very explicitly the point and the slope. In this example, they give us 2 points, but we have to have the slope to write the equation. So we need to use these 2 points to find the slope using the slope equation that we did a couple slides ago. So we get 6 plus 3 on top, that's 9. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6 on the bottom. So our slope is negative 3/2. So now I can pick either point, it does not matter. I'm going to choose this one just because it's first. And I use the point slope form. And I do y minus y1, so that's negative 3, times the slope, negative 3/2, x minus x1, which is 4. Again, once you get to this step, you just do two things. You first distribute negative 3/2 times x, negative 3/2 times 4, or negative 4. And then you subtract 3 from both sides. You get y equals negative 3/2 x plus 3. And what is the slope and the y-intercept for y equals 2/3 x plus 2? So this time they are giving you the equation and they're wanting you to identify based on the equation the slope and the y-intercept. So in this case, the slope would be 2/3 and the y-intercept is the number that's over here by itself, which is 2. One thing I want to make sure you understand is that it does not matter what order they write things in. They could have written this as 2 plus 2/3 x, and it would still be a slope of 2/3 and a y-intercept of 2. So make sure you keep that straight. The slope is always the coefficient of x. So whatever number goes with x, that's your slope. Now x is never part of the slope, it's just the number that's in front. And then the number by itself is the y-intercept. So to illustrate what I'm talking about, let's look at y equals 5 minus 1/2 x. So when I'm looking for my slope, I've got to look not just at the first number I see, but at the number that's attached to x. It's called the coefficient. So my slope is right here. It's negative 1/2 because it's the number that's paired with x. The y-intercept is the number that's all by itself. So the y-intercept is 5. If you want some examples from our book, there they are. And this ends Linear Equations Part 1.